Also, I think I keep thinking about this, how to do KGL on the blockchain, and I think I have a really good idea that could be super dope. That fits in with the whole scene right now, and we can't implement it right now though. We need to get some fundage, which we're gonna do an NFT drop for Krew, which will give us some funds so we could like pay a dev and shit. Because I got some ideas, and but like a KGL DAO, man, where we almost do smaller. I really like this idea, and it's not we're not just going to unilaterally do this because I don't really know how Dom feels about this. I come up with some crazy schemes sometimes, but imagine KGL DAO, and if you don't know what a DAO is, it's just like a voting mechanism, but it's on the blockchain. It's programmed with smart contracts. When you vote, if you're allowed to vote, then you vote on things, and then they're executed to the extent that the contract can carry them out, right? Because it's essentially just computer code. So like it can't like make you a sandwich, but it could send money to pay someone to make a sandwich or something. But essentially, this is my idea, and let me know what you like, what you don't like. We have 12 people who are like token holders in the DAO. DAO is what it is. And by holding one of these tokens, you get a vote, just like team captains. It's pretty much the team captains. You get to vote in what's happening, the rules. You get to create a team, right? And, but then the kicker, the one thing that I think is super dope is that you would, we potentially make the season shorter, right? And we're not going to change the season. This would be for next year. If we did it, we would make the season shorter, and we'd go like, instead of going from, what are we doing? February through August. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7 months. Instead, like 7 months on, 5 months off is kind of what we're doing. Instead, we'd split it up and we'd do like 4 months on or 5 months on, right? And then like a month off, and then another 4 or 5, and then a month off. But we could potentially switch the game, like switch the whole game. Like, so for argument's sake, if we were doing that now, we could theoretically be playing Halo instead of Vanguard if the DAO chose that, right? But then we'd have like then there'd be value associated. So instead of it just being willy-nilly, oh yeah, come sign up, whatever. Nah, there's an NFT that you hold that gives you that team, right? And you have to relinquish that to, for another team to come in, kind of deal. And we could have some kind of stipulation where if you're not doing X, Y, or Z, it gets locked in your wallet or burned or whatever, and we make a new one. Like we could do something like that. But like just think about that. Think if the NFL had that model, they kind of do already, right? Like the way, I don't know how the other ones are set up, but the NFL specifically is, there's the team owners, and they're all like in a club. They're all part of the nonprofit organization, the nonprofit social club that is the NFL. That's how that works, yo. And I believe, and I'm almost gonna say that is why the cities, I think the cities own, and I'm sure they're all different, but I think some of these cities are the ones that actually own the sporting venues. And that I would assume would have to do with tax purposes. But my point is, they vote on when to bring in a new team. Like, so when it's hard to buy a football team, it's hard to get into that club, the team owners club. Like, it's a real old rich white dude thing. Like, that's a real thing, old timey deal. And it's hard to get in there. And like everyone has to be okay with it. And because the thing is, they split all the money. Did you know that? Whatever's made in the stadiums, I believe, is however the city and the teams work it out. But like all the jersey sales, the NFL licensed jersey sales, all that revenue gets split up evenly amongst all of the team owners. Right? So when they vote to add a new team, they're, diminishing their share. They're diminishing their percentage, but potentially adding more by having a Carolina team or a Jacksonville team or whatever, right? Or reintroducing a Houston team. So something to think about with the DAO thing. I think that there's a lot of potential there to make it like a cool thing. And we got some other shit with like a can of coin and then the can of Krew side of our whole crypto move. But that would be symbiotic. Like the most basic thing would be, instead of these Twitch points, gambling these Twitch points, we'd have a thing open all week where anybody could go in and wager crypto, specifically a can of coin, and wager that on the teams week to week. Like you go place your bets, right? Like he'd have to do it 24 hours or 48 hours before the game or whatever, but like that's cool, right? So there's a lot of weird little shit. And if we're talking about creating a can of coin, and we'd be however we decide it gets distributed, but part of that would be we would give them out. So maybe every season there's a certain percentage, right? Or a certain allocation to each of the DAO holders. And then you even incentivize, like you could even, like we would create a fucking salary for the players, even though it'd be in can of coin, and maybe that doesn't have any value or is like fractions of pennies or whatever. The more you use things and the more things have use, the more value they have. So like over time you would think that they'd appreciate. And so holding on to them would be a good idea. But we could like tokenize our whole thing, and people could pay each other, and we could do all kinds of weird shit, and everyone have a player card and cool shit. There's a lot of cool shit that can happen, and it's all super new. And so like we could be on the cutting edge of some shit, because I don't remember we were trying. I don't know if you remember if you were here. We were trying to get on. There's this one streaming website. It's called Theta TV, theta.tv. And Theta is a blockchain protocol for streaming, and it's decentralized hosting of streaming. So it's very interesting, but you use other people's machines pretty much to host, as opposed to having the central server. And it's kind of cool. But they have like a node thing that we could stream to, that anyone can if you just download it. But to actually stream on the website, you have to be given a key. You have to be granted one, and they're very selective. You have to like try out for the stream key, and we tried, and there was an issue with the upload and some weird shit. Well, we didn't get it. We tried twice and we didn't get it. We didn't try again. But there's potential for a league if we're the more, the more legitimate it is, the more legitimate the league is, there's more potential that something that's like up and coming in the space, but has a lot of potential influence. Because like Theta, for instance, is a new streaming service, right? But it's like Twitch. What the fuck? How you compete with Twitch and YouTube, right? Like the Misfits are all on that Trovo, right? But it's hard to compete with Amazon and Google. Well, Google and Samsung and shit, they own nodes, so they're part of the network for Theta. Like it has institutional backing. So like Theta's thing is to use their protocol. Like their goal is to have YouTube would use their protocol, not necessarily that Theta TV would replace YouTube, but that they would use Theta's technology to stream their products. And so it would be decentralized and better than what they're doing now. more secure. And so that, I mean, that's their goal, is a B2B play. But or like your TV would use Theta or whatever. But there's potential for someone like Theta to see a esports league, an amateur league or whatever, and then like sponsor the league, you know, and like make a big deal of it on their end because it's something cool that they have. You get what I'm saying? Like Theta's not gonna make a play to pick up CDL, right? Like I don't know. Something to think about. There's a lot of, what I'm getting at is there's a lot of cool shit tech wise on the horizon, and esports is right in there. So I think, as whatever my position is in this league, co-commissioner, fucking Vince McMahon, whatever it is, I think that we need to be fucking thinking about that, like the new tech shit that's happening and how we get in that for the benefit of the league, right? Because that's what my concern has to be. So that's what I think about on a day-to-day basis. Welcome to my insanity. Also, I hit 300 followers on Twitter today. Okay, congratulations. Yay. But so we can do Twitter Spaces now. But I've also learned that that's not actually a requirement anymore. You don't need 300 followers to do Spaces. So whatever that is. But I think maybe we'll do SBot on Spaces as well as on Twitch or something. Or we'll figure out something cool for Spaces. But usually from my experience, Spaces for people who want to remain anonymous, which obviously my face is on the internet like 6 days a week. So I'm not trying to remain anonymous, which gives us an edge in the crypto space, by the way. So there you go. Where's my bowl? I was trying to send us off, and instead I went on a fucking rant. But I really think that there's potential on some blockchain shit for the league. But go follow Canna Gaming League, KGL Gamers, on Twitter. Por favor. And if anybody, Aspect helps with Discord. You know, if anybody wants, we could potentially even use another hand, like a mod. But if anyone wants to help in any capacity with the league, right? This is kind of like the ground floor. But I say kind of like the ground floor because ground floor was last year and the year before. But if you got anything you can contribute, even if it's like making one video clip a week or whatever it is, whatever you think you would be good at or are down to do, something that you like to do, preferably that fits into our thing, I would be more than happy to have that help. Just saying. But then, so here's the thing too. Think about this though. Think about this. Imagine we thread the needle on my fucking fever dream, right? We fucking thread the needle and we get some traction, you know, like we have our little Web3 component where people are gambling. We've got some awareness in the crypto space, eyeballs on us that weren't before, right? People with influence and money and willpower and a penchant for doing cool shit, right? Then we have people coming in, and if we have that DAO set up, right, where we have controlled entry, we have people trying to come in and buy in. You know, we have people trying to buy those DAO spots. We have people trying to get onto teams. You know, we have like it just becomes more and more and more legitimate, you know, and less like pickup game flag football every step of the way. And I mean, I don't actually, in my head, I don't, my goal isn't to be like this, to like replace CDL or something like that high of a level. I don't know, like where we're at now. Obviously, we're not anywhere near that, but I think that my goal is really to just build it all increasingly over time. But I think we have the opportunity to make something unique and cool and different in the space, and to be like pioneers. So that's what I'm excited about. Um, like Elon wants to go to Mars, but I don't think he wants to be the because he wants to be the king of Mars. I think he just wants to and like he just wants to go to another planet because it'd be dope. Maybe he does want to be a king, I don't know, but for me it would just be to because it's dope and we're advancing. So that's how I see the league. I don't have like an end point. I don't know if that was relevant, but I'm gonna rip this bong again, and maybe I'll say something else crazy.